Hi and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Cassia. On this channel we discuss all aspects of the ascension process. I have a variety of different services that I offer to assist you in your awakening journey, and you can find those listed in the description box below. So we're going to get right into it today, guys. We are doing the daily reading for Wednesday, September 2nd, 2020. And so today is a day that is ruled by the second chakra and guided by navigation. And today is a pretty exciting day because we are moving into a new wave spell. And so what a wave spell is a 13-day cycle that begins and sort of whatever galactic energy the wave spell begins on is sort of a guiding energy that takes us through the next 13 days. And so the guiding energy of this wave spell is the red magnetic earth energy or signature frequency. And so each day will still have its own individual frequency, but it will be overall guided by the frequency that begins the wave spell. And then of course we see the month's frequency is like the larger frequency within which this is all contained, and then the year's frequency, which is the blue lunar storm frequency, which you can find a video on for the galactic new year if you want to look that up, is the overriding energy. So it's energies within energies within energies, portals within portals within portals. And when we really sink into the frequencies and the signatures and the energies of these days from that galactic viewpoint, we can move outside of linear time and we can open ourselves up to that beautiful synchronistic relationship with the universe. And synchronicity is a perfect thing to be talking about today as we're moving into this red magnetic earth energy, because this is all about synchronicity, right? So the magnetic is the first tone. There are 13 tones of creation, and magnetic is that first tone. So the magnetic tone is all about unity. It's all about purpose, right? And finding our purpose. The original energy from which all came, right? That original source energy, which is that energy of unity, that energy of love. So really understanding and sinking into unity and what that means. And also by sinking into this now moment, and this understanding of this interconnectedness, right? We also begin to open up more to our souls and be drawn toward our purpose. So the magnetic energy reminds us that our soul's blueprint, our soul's higher purpose is encoded within our cells. It lives and breathes within us. And the more we open up to the energy of it, the more these beautiful synchronistic events unfold, the more spirit is able to create with us and through us, right? And so really embracing that and opening up to that energy today and over the next 13 days. And we also have the red earth energy that is guiding this, right? So magnetic is the tone, red earth is the tribe. And for those who are having trouble following this, go check out 13moon.com. You can find your own personal galactic signature, and you can find more information on all of this and even order yourself a calendar if you'd like. But the red earth is all about synchronicity as well. It's about synchronicity. It's about unity and oneness. And it's about also understanding above all that we are one with nature. We are one with this earth, right? We are these beautiful cells living and breathing in this earth, and how everything is connected. We are connected to the earth is connected to the galaxy, to the cosmos, to the multiverse, right? And we're all part of that source energy in these different expressions. And so really sinking into that and becoming open to synchronicity. And so the tone and the tribe match really well when it comes to this. The blending of those energies to me suggests that today is one of those days where we really want to sink into that and become open to synchronicities in our lives. Become open to the way that spirit is attempting to speak to us and through us. And to really become open to evolving, to allowing spirit to navigate us and show us where to go, allowing ourselves to open up more and more fully to our purpose, right? And this is perfect timing as we have Mars about to go retrograde in a few days. And so during this wave spell, this 13-day wave spell, Mars will also go retrograde. And so this is really a dynamic time of opening up to our higher purpose, right? of opening up to this highest expression of ourselves, and at the same time seeing ourselves as one individual strand in that beautiful collective tapestry, and really just opening up into all of those energies and finding the magic in incarnation, in being here right now, right? And there's so many of these energies that really trace back to that knowledge and that understanding that this now is the only moment there is, and that opens us up to all timelines and all moments and all possibilities, right? So really getting into that synchronistic flow over these next 13 days and being open to how our soul is trying to speak to us, how members of our soul tribe are trying to speak to us, allowing those people and those things and those ideas and whatever it is, those resources that are going to facilitate the fulfillment and unfoldment of our life's purpose to materialize in our reality. So that's pretty cool. And this is, of course, for some people, this is the day of the full moon. For those who are in the part of the earth that I am in right now, which is the east coast of the United States, or North America in general, anywhere. It doesn't, not specifically the East Coast, but anyone who's in this area of the world, the full moon was yesterday. But for some it is today. So happy full moon either way. We are still very much in those energies no matter where in the world we're located. And it was a pretty intense moon, I think, for a lot of people. It was very intense for me. A lot of emotion, a lot of just really learning how to be present and how to slow down. That balance. I did that reading about balance, and it was really funny because Spirit's been has been teaching me that and forcing me to kind of slow down and take a step back. I'm one of those people who likes to accomplish, especially with all this Mars energy, right? And we're in Virgo season, which is all about the steps and the strategy, and just feeling like the energy has been reminding me to practice what I preach and what it is that I teach, right? Because sometimes all the time we have to take care of ourselves, right? We have to find that balance. It's not always about going and doing and accomplishing. Sometimes it really is about being still. And so that was a lesson that really showed up for me a lot. But it was a very intense day for a lot of people, intensely beautiful. That's breakdowns and breakthroughs. If you guys haven't seen that video, I think it was aptly titled. Definitely check that out. And so we're going to pull some Work Your Light Oracle cards for September 2nd. We have Birthing a New Age. Birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. So really opening up to that purpose, like we were talking about, right? Like a lot of people who watch this channel and watch these videos, like you guys have a purpose, and that purpose has a lot to do with this. We are all doing this, whether we realize it or not. And the more cognizant of that we are, the more we can feel into that energy, right? But every single human being on this planet is part of birthing this new age. It's just how consciously are you a part of it? And this power of our minds to create, right? This dreaming a new world into being. I'm feeling for some of you guys are having prophetic dreams about this new earth or about some of the things that you're meant to be doing. That's what's coming through with this right now. So really pay attention to those dreams and understand that, like, if you dream it, you can achieve it. And just whatever they're telling you. For some of you, this synchronistic energy, like we're talking about, these synchronicities are happening during the dream state. Or you're dreaming about things and then you're seeing them in your waking life, and it's sort of like a trigger for you. This kind of reminding you, like, we're really being guided on our path right now, very subtly sometimes, and sometimes it's like a hammer knocking us over the head, depending on like how loud the message needs to be. But for a lot of you guys, pay attention to that. These weird synchronicities in your dreams, where this stuff is then spilling over maybe into your waking life, as we're beginning to understand, like we're transcending realities, and our consciousness is shifting, right? So we're starting to realize and understand that what reality do we want to choose? Which level of consciousness do we want to be primarily operating from? Because right now, a lot of us primarily operate from our third dimensional consciousness, sometimes our fourth and sometimes our fifth, right? But those are the secondaries. And as we begin to move more into these the ascension energies, we're going to have that opportunity to choose, well, do I want to operate primarily from a fourth dimensional state of consciousness? And sometimes dip back into the third when it's necessary, sometimes into the fifth. Do I want to primarily operate from a fifth? Like, we get to choose, and we can choose moment to moment. And like every instant is an opportunity to make a new choice, right? Because this is all a constant, ever evolving, ever expanding now. So we get to make that choice every single moment. And so, yeah, that's coming through as well. And then we have boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? So this is an energy that's coming up for people as well. I think that all of this type of stuff is coming up in general, just really understanding and setting those boundaries with ourselves, boundaries with other people in our lives, boundaries with our energies. Let's get a couple more. What else do we have here? And then we have just say yes, which is interesting. So on the one hand, we're being told to establish better boundaries, but then we're also being told to say yes. And so what I'm feeling is like, in those times when you need to say yes, like, say yes when your heart is saying yes. When you can feel the excitement, right? When something really lights you up, say yes. But in a lot of other situations, this is discernment, right? We understand where our energy is being drained and where we need to say no, or where we need to establish those healthy boundaries and those energetic boundaries as well. So it's like, establish boundaries where those need to be established. And when these other opportunities, like this has to do with those resources and those opportunities coming our way as well. It's like, say yes to that, right? But also say yes to yourselves. Like, boundaries, right? Like, when saying no to somebody else is saying yes to myself. So there may be times when I need to put myself above or before other people. And I need to do this. What do I need to put first, right? It's like, I need to put myself first. I was talking to you guys about my lesson recently, which has been like really putting my health first above everything else, right? Because if we don't have that, we have nothing. And so really understanding where we can say yes, when it's healthy to say yes, and when it's healthy to say no. And that sort of, yes, the interplay of those energies and just the discernment between those two things. And then Imrama, where are you being called to journey to? This card keeps coming up, right? People are being called back to their true north, whether this is a physical place, whether this is a place in your dreamscape, right? Whether this is a place that you go to when you meditate. Like, where are you being called and who are you being called to? And really coming back into, like, we're being called to journey back to our own souls right now. And this journey back to our own souls is going to call us to specific places in order for us to have those little moments and those flashes of insight where I was just talking about the beginning of this reading, where things get triggered, memories get triggered, right? Aspects of our soul are able to come back online. Sometimes there are specific places that we go to that initiate this sort of like reclaiming of that energy. And so we may be feeling called to journey in all different types of ways to all different types of places, and back to those places that we belong is really what I'm feeling more than anything. And this card keeps coming up as well, Mirror, who is triggering you. We are in this process of triggering and shedding all of those old wounds and those old beliefs. And so that is going to be continuing to come up for us, right? Like, all of that stuff is being resolved and worked through. We're moving through it, right? So that we can get to the other side of that. We're clearing out all of that baggage. And then again, the just say yes popped up. All right, so I feel like for somebody out there, you've been trying to figure out what to do about a situation. You're trying to get an answer. Like, somebody came into this reading possibly with a question in mind. It was a yes or no question. The answer is yes. Okay. They wanted that to come out again to kind of reiterate that for whoever needs to hear that today. And I'm actually wanting to do a goddess power. A couple of goddess power cards for you guys too. So there's your answer. Just say yes. Stop overthinking it, maybe. Just say yes. Say yes to your soul. Say Say yes to your heart. Say yes to whatever that opportunity is. And then we have Mama Kia, the moon. And so with this full moon that was just passing, that's a beautiful card to have. And the moon is all about the intuition, right? Us really connecting into our higher intuition and our soul selves. And really feeling, I'm getting like a high priestess type energy from this card right now. And so we're going to read and see what she represents, what she has to say to us. I feel like very mysterious energy. Mama Kia, the Incan goddess of the moon, presides over the power of cycles and seasons. The moon rules the night sky, returning full 13 times in a year. So this is perfect with the galactic time that we work with, right? All of these cycles of 13. The ancients marked time by the moon to know when to plant, when to harvest, when to store food, and when to celebrate fertility. Right now, you are invited to see what is familiar and decide whether you need to improve on it or leave things as they are. The answer to your inquiry can be found in the timing of things and the cycle you're in. You can apply the idea of natural cycles to relationships, creative projects, personal growth, and more. If you are honest with yourself, you will see there is no way to control these cycles, only to use the creative energy they offer to help you. And so we can look at this, if we're looking at the cycles of the moon, we can look at, we just came out of the full moon, which is a cycle of releasing, right? If your relationship is unclear yet brimming with potential, you might turn to the new moon energy that shows up in the spring cycle of life. In that case, you just need to allow the relationship to grow naturally and be clear in your intentions. When your outer world seems to be slowing down, with obstacles rising up and temporarily blocking your every move, do not put up a resistance. And we have been dealing with that energy a lot, right? Instead, take advantage of the need to rest and recalibrate your intentions as you wait for the cycle to change. No matter what, like the cycles of the moon, there is divine order in everything that is happening in your life right now. Once you know this, the goddess Mama Kia welcomes you to her divine moon dance of co-creation. So this is really understanding the cycles and phases of things, of projects, of relationships, of our manifestation process, and just understanding and working within the cycle that you intuitively know and feel that you're in right now. And like I said, we are in the full moon energy, so that is very much about releasing things, releasing that which no longer serves, releasing that which has been hampering you in your process, really kind of reevaluating and looking at your intentions in these cycles where we're not actively moving forward, even though we maybe sometimes want to be. It is a good time to really fine tune our intentions and what it is that we're looking to build. And I'm still feeling that mysterious energy as well, as like for some of you, it's just like all the information isn't present yet for you to possibly, like there's more information coming, I guess, is what I want to say for that. And then we have Iris, communication. Right after I said there's more information coming. So this information may show up in the way of communication. You may receive communication from someone. You may be waiting for communication from someone in order to make your move. And so that it's quite likely that communication is coming, or that there is a need for that communication in order to, like, something about this communication is going to set some things in motion. Let me see what it says about that. This is interesting. Clarity and communication is called for, as your words will have great impact on others right now. It's a wonderful time to start writing that book, telling new stories, and sharing your experience, strength, and hope with others. You have everyone's ear, so choose your message wisely. Others will also desire positive and fruitful communication with you, so get ready for some amazing new opportunities to come from these discussions. Just remember to stay open and be clear about expressing your deepest desires, always speaking with integrity, kindness, and respect for yourself and others. The Greek messenger goddess Iris is thrilled to help your words take flight. Communication improves in all of your relationships when she comes to visit. Yes, and this is what I'm feeling, this last part. So, most importantly, however, Iris reminds you of the communication you have with the universe. You are in a mutual dialogue, and now is the time to pay attention to the signs and omens in your life. Trust this important yet subtle communication. It will never lead you astray when you listen and act accordingly. So that's it. Like, we're in a certain phase right now, right? There's a certain phase or cycle of this process of whatever it is that you're trying to create. And the universe is communicating with you, but most importantly, be aware that everything that you're thinking, everything that you're saying, everything that you're doing is communicating with the universe. So make sure, use this as a time to release anything, any residual thoughts, any residual resentments, any of these residual beliefs that are holding you back and not allow, and like sort of like disrupting that flow of communication with the universe. Like, fine tune your intentions and release anything that's standing in the way. Like, notice how it is that you're communicating with the universe. Are you communicating in a way that shows that you want what it is that you're intending to create, right? Are you living as that person would live? Are you speaking as that person would speak? Are you doing the things that are going to get you that result, right? Because the universe conspires to make our dreams become a reality, right? But we still have to take active part in that. So if you're not taking active part in that, then the spirit kind of has her hands tied. It's hands tied, right? There's not that much that they can do. So really be wary of that. And for some of you guys, there is communication that's going to come through that is going to help you kind of understand a situation a little bit better and understand how to act. And then we have, I don't even know how to pronounce this, Mnemosyne, the past, and Persephone, an experience. So what this is also, to me, with these cards together, right, because Persephone is that energy of newness, of freshness, of sort of like that virginal type energy almost. So it's sort of like also like something that some of you need to do is really release the past. If there's a situation, whatever situations you're involved in right now, any of these past energies are some of those things that need to be shed. Any of these past resentments, you want to approach every situation really, and any situations that you're attempting to create or bring into your reality, you want to approach from this fresh perspective, right? You don't want to approach it with the energy of the past. You want to be able to start fresh and start new. So whatever it is that possibly is hampering you from being able to do that needs to be dealt with first. It really needs to be dealt with and worked through. All of these, like utilizing the wisdom that the past has given us, but not bringing our past into our present, and certainly not bringing our past baggage into our present. It's like learning how to release all of that and move through that. And then Arian Rod. Some of these names, you guys. Time. Everything happens in that divine time. And we're going to read this card as well and see what this card has to say. Right now you have all the time in the world to reach the fullest potential of your intentions and desires. Orion Hod. If somebody knows how to pronounce this name, please tell me, because it's very... Arianhod, the Celtic goddess of time, is your ally, and she will ensure your timing is perfect. The hours will expand to gift you the space you need to complete anything that you started. Today, recognize that no matter what is in front of you, time is your friend. Consider that everything you intend and desire also has its own relationship to time, and all will come to you in the perfect form and in the perfect moment. Patience, dedication, and quiet anticipation are delicate yet potent allies now. Arian Rod is your champion, and your timing is perfect. And so as we move into this galactic time, it's teaching us how to move out of linear time, right? And how to look at things from that more expanded perspective. So really you're receiving some assistance with that, and just knowing that, like, We're moving out of this sort of three-dimensional understanding of time where we feel as though everything is kind of like, I don't know about you guys, but I often feel like I'm in a race against time, and it can be really really stressful. And so it's difficult to trust in divine timing sometimes, because we're always sort of like scheduling everything and running everything by this fake time, right, that we've all created and decided and agreed to live by. And so it's really opening up beyond that. And like, this is just a message for anyone who feels like you're running out of time. You're not. You have all the time in the world, and time is actually working in your favor, whether you realize it or not. So just surrendering to that and allowing that, and just going through this process of continuing to shed everything that needs to be shed, so that you can approach every situation in your life with a knowledge of the past, but not held up by the wounds of the past, right? As this new, from this new perspective, right? This fresh, new, childlike perspective of just like rebirth, right? Being reborn, just the beauty and the bounty of that childlike wonder and innocence, really approaching the situation with that, and knowing that like you have all the time in the world. Whatever it is that you're in the process of creating, there is no expiration date, right? It's like we learn and we grow, and there are these cycles and phases to that process, and just accepting the cycle and phase that we're in right now, continuing to work towards what we want, continuing our healing process in the meantime, continuing to make sure that we leave the past where it belongs, and just opening up to that understanding that that time is really, it feels, we've been taught that it's our enemy, but it's really our friend. Like, we are becoming and learning how to be the masters of time, and opening up to the expansive nature of time, like true time, right? Fourth dimensional time. And Freya, radical acceptance. That's part of this work that's being done right now, is this radical self-acceptance. This acceptance of all situations, this acceptance of where we are in our creation process, this acceptance of that we still have some things that we're working through, right? That we're healing, and that's okay. And loving ourselves through that process. That's what I'm feeling with this more than anything, is like loving ourselves and loving others through that process. And Freya is a warrior energy as well. So it's like, that's where the word radical comes from, I think. And we're going to look at this as this is going to be our final card for today. When you see life as a battleground, you lose sight of a more easeful way to be in the world. Can you stand in the middle of the chaos and allow yourself to center in the quiet hum in the eye of the storm? Let the peace of Freya, the Norse goddess of war, enter your mind. Amid the flurry of battle, she came to collect the fallen and bring them to a place of rest and recuperation. Freya is here to remind you that the acceptance of defeat is not the end. She offers the gift of acceptance, the knowing that there is nothing to resist right now. See your world at face value and look into it with discernment. When you see with greater clarity, not taking this world so personally, that's important. You will not have to fight at all. If you take full stock of your conditions, surrendering to what is, you can move to a higher ground, begin again, or wait until the drama dies down on its own. You are the strongest, most grounded, and most powerful when you remember this is the strategy the goddess Freya offers in your support. Yeah. All right, you guys. So that was your reading. Okay. We're going to pull a couple of these too. The Moonology Oracle deck. They want a couple of these. Well, it'll be interesting to see what we get. We tend to get some of the same. I feel like maybe somebody needs confirmation from this deck about something. We use this deck a lot, and it seems pretty consistent. So perhaps somebody is still questioning and needing a little more consistency from a tried and true source. So we'll see what the Moonology cards have to say. Confidence is your key to success. Be confident in who you are. Stand your ground. The answers you need are coming. We get this card all the time. The end of a tough cycle approaches. And on the bottom of the deck still, conclusions are within reach. So, yeah. Over and over and over again, we get these cards, right? So there's confirmation for you. Like, stay confident in knowing who you are, knowing what you want, knowing that you deserve that and you are worthy of that, right? Know that these answers are coming. This is full moon in Gemini. This reminds me of the communication card that we got in the goddess deck. Those answers are coming. They're coming in the form of signs, of synchronicities, possibly a conversation with someone. Just understand those communications are coming from all around you. Spirit is communicating to you. So it's just really opening up to all the different ways that you can listen for that communication. For some of you guys, like I said, it's coming in your dream state. And this is the ending of that tough cycle. Conclusions to that tough cycle. Whatever this tough cycle, this karmic cycle is that you have been going through. And a new start is coming. That's closing out. A new start is coming. This is like whatever you've been hoping to manifest, that we're still in those different phases. We're having to surrender to the phase of that cycle, of that creation process that's happening right now. That is coming, and your hard work is paying off. So, one more. Okay. Oh, there's two more. So that kicked that out. And then work through your fears. And by that kicked that out, I meant the conclusions are within reach. And then work through your fears. Work through your fears. Release what you need to release. This is where that past card comes in. All of those past wounds and conditioning. It's about continuing to work through those so that you can approach whatever situations, whatever new starts are coming into your lives from that place where you're not operating from the past wounding anymore, where you can approach a situation as if it is completely fresh and new, because that's what a new start means. Whether this is a new start, a new job, a new home life, a new relationship, whatever it is. And like, you, even if it's something old that you're returning to, you want it to feel like new. So you need to work through these. What are your fears? What are these fears as far as your manifestation process goes, as far as your confidence, right? This is all stuff that has been so big in the astrology lately. Like, what are those fears that you need to work through and release? And what are those fears you have about this conclusion, right? Are you holding off on allowing this conclusion to take place because you're afraid of what's going to come in its place? If that's the case, I'm telling you, it's going to be only good things. And then, as I said, are you holding off on taking action because you're afraid of what's going to come in its place? It's time to take action. Full moon in Aries card, right? So, if you are holding off, what are you waiting for? If you need to work through some of that stuff that we were talking about, then absolutely work through that. But like, I feel like for some of you guys, there are steps that you could take that would help to facilitate this process, that would at least, might not bring you to the situation that you're looking to create, but will at least bring you to a better situation than the one you're in now. And as far as that goes, take the action around that. Look at the bigger picture. All right, guys, I appreciate you all. I love you so much. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Drop a comment if it resonated. Like, share, subscribe if you feel so moved to do so. There's a link to donate to my channel below, and there are also links to my services. I do personal readings. I do incredibly profound and powerful energy healings. I do personal transit ascension charts, all kinds of different stuff. Check that out if you would like some assistance. I love you all so very, very much, as I always say, and I probably already said, and I will talk to you all soon.